There's a couple of questions that came through. The first one is from someone asking about their theme and their...
So I saw that. So Serpa and Katie, they run this business together, and their question is slightly different.
Yes.
But Serpa was asking about a theme.
She was saying that they want to have the left-hand navigation showing on their website. My first thought is that 80% of traffic is going to be on mobile. Whatever navigation is on the thing on mobile is hidden anyway. So that's kind of the wrong question to be asking. I think they should be focusing more on traffic.
That's exactly what I want to say as well. I just want to verify with you. I was going to go there anyway, but I just want to verify with you, like, in case there is something we don't know.
If they're doing less than 10k a month, the theme is not the problem right now, in my opinion.
I thought as well, but I just wanted to know because I don't know those numbers in detail. So, yeah. But do you know the theme that they mentioned?
There's a million themes. You can use whichever theme you want. But I like the free ones from Shopify, especially the new free ones that are AI enabled. Makes it very easy to update. They mentioned that the theme that they have is very clunky to use. So I'm like, well, why would you bother with a clunky theme? Because as you get bigger and grow, it's only going to become more of a headache.
More clunky, yeah. So then I'll tell them, look, choose whichever AI enabled from Shopify you like. But
the free ones from Shopify are called, the series is called Horizons. And within there, there's like 10 themes to choose from. They're the newest ones. It's kind of like the update of Dawn. Dawn still exists, but it's a bit like old now.
okay. Then Mihaly was asking about Katie was asking about traffic, so I can answer that. So I do think that...
She's like, how do I get more of the right people? My thinking was Content Factory. But.
Exactly, Content Factory, and she probably hasn't gotten there yet. But my thing was also, okay, if they're getting a lot of traffic from Pinterest and they're having 80% bounce rate, I wonder if they're getting like the how-to people, how-to crowds, you know, because they sell the felt kits, and those felt kits, like you buy that, but then you make that at home, like to calm the baby or, you know, the child or whatever. It's like an activity for grandparents with kids to do. And I wonder if they're attracting the crafty crowd that is just looking how to do things, and then they click on the thing, and then they are like, oh, this is a shop.
It's like the soap club, right? Like they had the blogs for the best how to make lavender soap, but they were selling lavender soap. But people come in to learn how to make lavender soap and not going to buy the soap because they want to make it. It's different. It's a mismatch.
Exactly. So that was my thing. Like, but how... I guess in Pinterest Analytics they can find out.
Also, I think they said they have a high bounce rate, but on which page? Like, because a common theme I see all the time is that the homepage has a high bounce rate because people get lost and they just leave. They don't like the hero image, so they leave. So it could be about directing them to the right collection page.
That's a good point.
As well.
A good point.
And by the way, what is high bounce rate?
They said 80.
Okay.
That's quite high.
Yeah, because it's relative to the type of traffic as well and the type of page. But yeah, okay.
But it's true, it's not like 95. When it's like 95, you know, you have the wrong traffic.
Yeah, serious problem, yeah.
When it's 80, maybe they just don't like what they see. We know for optimum conversion, it's about, 65 or so. When they are like in the 30s, they're getting lost as well.
Yeah, I think maybe to stress to them as well, to look how it looks on mobile, because if they're thinking about the design from the computer, that's just not relevant for like 80% of the traffic.
Yeah. Okay. So that's great. Those two understand. Then Krisha asked something about...
She asked about her BFCM
the flow.
pop-up. I already answered that question in our BFCM workshop. But the gist of her question was that if she changes her pop-up, do I do like a whole new thingy? And I said, let's simple scales, complex fails. Just send 1 or 2 emails after people sign up to the pop-up. Otherwise it's going to be too complicated and it's only going to be there for a week and then you turn it off anyway. So don't do a whole 5-day sequence off the BFCM pop-up because you're going to blast those people anyway from your blast. So just keep it simple.
Last question was about the SKUs.
The question was about, in one of the training videos, I mentioned that it's best practice. Let's say you sell mugs. If you have a blue one, a red one, a yellow one, you have one listing and you have the variations. Google prefer this for SEO purposes because there's one main listing that just has different attributes.
Yeah.
If you have multiple product listings, then you're gonna have the duplicated content issue, and you're gonna get punished by Google for that,
Yes.
because like you've got too much of the same content over and
Yes.
over and over and over. In this customer's case, I haven't looked at her store in detail yet.
It's
but
Jen.
Yes, but I think that she sells specific things where it's not just commoditized by color. It's like each thing has its own unique characteristics. Like it's kind of like a fashion store selling dresses.
Yeah, planter, yeah.
Yeah, but let's say just to make a simple example, like a dress. If you have an olive dress and a blue dress,
Yes.
they're both dresses, but each one is different. Like the olive one has like a particular pattern and style, and the blue one has a particular pattern and style. So you do it as two listings, right? So I think in her case,
If it's a different cut, yeah.
if it's a different cut. So in her case, it might make sense to do the separate listings based on the characteristics of the things, but I haven't seen them, so I don't know.
Okay, I'll ask her.
But if it's the same shape and cut and material and size and weight and personality and everything, then I would still suggest to do one product listing.
And if it's the same color but different size?
Normally size is a variation attribute. Normally it's, yeah.
But how many variation attributes before it gets confusing? Because
Yeah.
what if I have this cup in multiple sizes, but then I have this cup in multiple colors?
So normally it's a user experience interface question. How many things do you want them to choose from on the screen? I think that it's okay, my personal opinion, if it's size and color, that's okay, because that's like not that many combinations of things, and the interface looks okay. But if it starts getting more attributes, then it gets too complicated, then yes, you want to split it out, in my opinion.
Yeah. Although, like, if this cup is in double the size, then you have a different usage for it. So then I would rather have this one with the other color of the same one,
Yeah.
and then the tall one
That
with
might
the
make
other
sense.
color of the tall
That
one.
might make sense. And also she said she wants to do upsells and cross sells. So then in that case you might need to have some separate listings, right? Because if you buy the small one and you want to do an upsell for a big one, you
Yeah.
might need a separate listing for that. So what I said in the video is general best practice, but we need to like understand her context to like give the...
And how her customers buy. Yeah.
It's not one size fits all, I guess.
Well, that's why we've got experts like you.
And you.
Oh well.
Also, the questions that she asked, I put it straight into Ninja Buddy to see what is Ninja Buddy going to say.
Yeah.
And I put it in and I copied the link so you can refer to it if you want to. Because I thought the Ninja Buddy response was pretty helpful.
Pretty good, yeah.
Yeah.
Trying to replace yourself. Yeah.
No, I just wanted to see what is it going to say to this question.
Yeah.
Like a relatively unstructured question.
Yeah, Ninja Buddy is pretty cool.
She also asked about themes as well. Like, why did Kristen say to use this theme and not that theme? But just to clarify, I didn't say use this one or use that one. I just said, hey, by the way, here's a bunch of themes that people use.
Yes.
Go and check it out if you want. That's what I said.
Yeah.
And what we've already said just now is that I like the Horizons AI themes.
Horizons AI. And I wonder if now when people can customize and do whatever they want, if they're gonna screw up many things. Because
I think
once again, people think that they need this on their website. Just like this question from Serpa, like, but I really want the navigation in the left-hand bar menu, but it's like, honey, that's not your problem.
On mobile, people wouldn't even see it.
So I wonder if with these AI-enabled themes, people just gonna go out of space.
It's possible,
Like-
but I think Shopify will like kind of bring the people back in to orbit as well. They'll put guardrails on it, right? Saying that if someone asks this crazy wild thing, we'll say, hey, maybe don't do that.
Yeah, maybe, but
Like it's not supposed to be it shouldn't break the store. Do you know what I mean? Like there should be guardrails.
no,
that doesn't
I
break
don't
the
think it
store.
would be breaking the store. I just wonder if people will now have the freedom to make an optimized theme that's optimized for highest conversion if they will make it convert less.
Yeah, by making it a bit crazy.
By just because I found that previously when people didn't know what to do, and this is such a common scenario that, I start with my business, I, launch and I have some traffic and I don't make that many sales. So then I'm like, okay, so maybe something is wrong with the product. So I like reposition the product, then, pay for ads, then nothing happens. I get frustrated. So I go back to my store, I start updating the theme, the image, the headline.
Yeah.
you know, I start discounting so many things, and then people get so frustrated in the end of the day. Like the other day I spoke to Lana and she was like, you know, so much money out the door. She's like worked on her store for like 8 months before making freaking single sale.
Yeah.
And I feel like once people go down that rabbit hole, it's just
So maybe that's
difficult to get out.
the free group that we don't have at the moment is about getting the first sale or getting the first 10 sales or something like that. Just a side note. But
that's what I was saying yesterday.
Yeah, no.
Either first or 1,000 per month. It needs to be a micro,
I'm just like reflecting on what you said yesterday. Yeah. As you said, this example made me think.
What's the time, by the way? I need to make sure I'm on time for the call.
I can't see the clock from here. Shut on me.
Oh yeah, I can see it. It's 23.
The clock's a few minutes fast.
Woo, time flies. So Kristen set it up for me. Time to run the coaching call. Now the questions we just went through, so let's go.
Good luck.
Alrighty. Hi guys. Hi there. Hello. Do let me know if you can see and hear me. That would be great. If you do, let me know. Let me know how are you guys doing today. All right, so that's it. We've had some amazing questions there. But yeah, that's it. See you next time.